Welcome, welcome. Thank you, Eris, for doing all of the mod stuff. Welcome, Christine and Farrell. We have a Farrell sighting. And Sal and Greedy Bloke. Good morning, everyone. We have some kablowy news in the morning, this Tuesday, December the 5th. I have yet to wrap one thing. And in exciting Mo news, never joke about becoming the president and or running for president because youngest most feral after saying D's nuts on stream decided to ask if I was going to add a swimming pool to the White House when I become president. So, positive thinking and all, but apparently my run is not only, confirmed, but I am already winning and will now add a swimming pool to the White House. He's like, "Okay, but what room am I going to stay in?" He's like, "Do I get to stay in the first kids room?" And I was like, "Honey, I'm not really running for." Okay, but still, can we add a pool? Good morning, Twisted Logic. I don't think I've seen you here, but good morning and welcome. So, yeah, um, don't joke about becoming the president in the presence of the youngest, most feral. He will decide that it is true that we have won. He is the best hype man ever. He's like, "We're adding a pool to the White House. It's done. Done and done." Frybert, welcome, Wolfram. Frybert is enjoying, brand new to him treats that were on clearance, all natural liver and whatever was on there, but clearance, you had me at hello. Anyhoozle, let's get into the news. I promised kablowy news. House explosion rocks Virginia neighborhood as the Popo tried to serve a search warrant. Now, what strikes me about this is, y'all, I am old enough to remember Waco. So if I read this article right, and I read the Twitters and the Twatters and the X right. Oh, thank you very much, Twisted Logic. It's hard to keep up with chat and read, yes, last night, right as I was ending the stream, apparently Mr. Mo had bought me a delightful package of mixed nuts, and my youngest, most feral could not, not bring himself to say, "Hey, mom, I've got D's nuts for you," because of course he couldn't. So, and then he had to practice his Bible verse, for school. So, balance in all things, as always. But I am old enough to remember Waco. So, let's get into the story and I will allegedly try to tie that in. But a massive explosion engulfed a home and rocked a neighborhood in Arlington, Virginia, as police were investigating a man who fired a flare gun dozens of times from inside Monday night. Now, we remember in Waco, Texas, they had all sorts of, flashbangs and different things that allegedly either, the Branch Davidians or the feds, I'm going to go leaning more to the feds, had put in. Now, we know that those are semi-combustible things. So this man had, allegedly shot off dozens of flares inside his house. Marley was dead to begin with. So he's already done that. No serious injuries were suffered by the police, though the fate of the suspect who was inside the home when it exploded was not immediately clear. Now, shots were fired into a house that was full of combustibles. It's like we've learned nothing since Waco. Seriously, did he have a dog? Swear to God, the ATF, do they have a dog, unalive in course? Because I swear to God, you know, any hoozle. uh, the A video was posted to social media showing a huge fireball and what appeared to be the roof and other debris lofted into the air during the blast, which neighbors said could be heard and felt for miles around Washington, D.C. Neighbors reported possible shots fired around 4:45 p.m. Police officers determined someone had fired a flare gun, Arlington County Police spokesperson Ashley Savage told reporters. Well, no, see, that is my beautiful, beautiful, Mr. Mo lets me shop for myself, for Christmas. He gives me a budget because, look, given the choice, he would never pick the right thing for me because I found the most beautiful thing on TMU I have ever seen. I posted it on X, but it is a not Lego replica of the Spaceballs Winnebago, you know, and it is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. So, he's like, "Seriously? That is what you wanted?" And I was like, "Mr. Mo, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life." And he's like, other wives ask for jewelry." And I was like, "Yeah, but you get in my pants with not Legos from Spaceballs. You should be incredibly lucky. So you should feel loved." He's like, "You are the weirdest person I've ever met." And I was like, "I know, and you're married to me." Uh, so after 8 p.m., officers were trying to conduct a search warrant at the house. The suspect was inside the residence, discharged several rounds of a flare gun, Savage said. The house subsequently exploded. So here's where I have, you know, look, it's a pre-order. So, you know, I know I do call for a Spaceballs watch party, and I do call for Mel Brooks in his most honorable thing to do a Spaceballs 2 in search for more money. Yeah, I know. Okay, I really do. I look, with all the sequels that are getting made, I need a Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money, considering that the Marvels stole the idea from Spaceballs, if I'm hearing the reviews right, because, oh my god, what the hell? Anyhoozle, let's get back. So, apparently, the house just exploderated by itself, as houses do, and the fire was under control by 10:40. But spot fires were being addressed. You know who I really feel bad for is the neighbors right next to the house. They were doing nothing, probably eating Cheetos, watching cops videos, as you do, or, that video those videos where they do the hydraulic press and you watch things get squished. Well, they're not Legos. So they're off-brand, not Legos. There is a question. No one knows a whole lot of anything. Let me see if they'll get the video to go. You guys can't hear anything, but you can. I still don't understand why Brave doesn't let you hear anything. For the love of all that is holy. Y'all know this is a duct tape and holy water production around here. And y'all, I got jury duty next year. Whoever was in charge of see, this looks like something from Hollywood. Although better than Hollywood. Hollywood, take note. But I do feel bad for the houses right next to them because, I mean, as I said, you're probably on your couch eating Cheetos that you're not supposed to because you were really good all day. And then, about 8 o'clock is when the munchie monster gets you and you're, eating, eating, eating. And then all of a sudden, your neighbor's house explodes. That's what you get for snacking. So right now, no one really knows what's happening. The identity of the person involved in the case has not been released. The circumstances of the explosion are under investigation, so I'm sure we will find out what is going on about the time we find out what happened with the Las Vegas thing because, our government is super quick to tell us all the things. Uh, Carla Rodriguez of South Arlington came to the scene after hearing the blast more than 2 miles away. Good morning, Sarah Adams. She told I actually thought a plane had exploded, she told the Associated Press. One local man, Bob Maines, thought a tree had fallen on his house as the blast shook his property. Quote, I was sitting in my living room watching television. He was eating Cheetos. I'm telling you what, everyone lies and says they were eating kale chips or something else. Look, it was gummy bears and Cheetos. Wolfram, you always have an alibi with me. You were watching my Newsy News on repeat. It's how it was. I was there. It wasn't an earthquake quake kind of tremor and welcome snivels. Uh, but it shook the whole house. U.S. Representative Don Beyer, a Democrat from Virginia, said on X that the incident was very, very scary, and he thanked first responders for their work. Monitoring the emergency response to a major explosion in the Bluemont neighborhood of Arlington tonight. This is very, very scary. My profound thanks goes to first responders working to secure the area and keep everyone safe. Police officers reported minor injuries, county police said. The police department said no one was taken to the hospital. The FBI in Washington is assisting in the investigation, and the spokesperson for the agency's field office was there. The Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms also turned up because, well, duh. If there's an explosion, they're there. Allegedly. Speaking of explosion and, terrible emissions, we have another, terrible emission. A loud fart sound erupts during John Kerry's speech at a climate panel. There is nothing I dislike more than preachy, daggone climate people that take private jets and own half of Heinz ketchup. I do not like that. John Kerry may need to cut back on his own emissions, but chink. Okay, New York Post, I'll allow it. You're a little bit punny, but I'll allow it. The Biden administration's climate envoy was discussing U.S. policy on coal power plants at the climate change conference in Dubai. Okay, let's break down how stupid all of this is. He took a private jet to Dubai, a place that is, rich because of what are those things? What is that stuff that they pump out of the ground that everyone's always demonizing? Oh, yeah, fossil fuel. Right. And he went there to talk to people who don't really have the same human rights ideas that we do. But cows and coal mining that we do actually fairly good. And we actually use humane stuff. And, we can actually take care of the earth. And, we have the highest strictest, standards, at least in the world, but we're never going to talk about, certain places and how terrible they are. Okay, shall I continue? When he unleashed a burst of wind energy, you know what? I say we harness the wind energy that is not being exploited in Washington, D.C. I think if we get all the methane that is coming out of the oral rectal, you know, oral rectal orifices of all the politicians, we could power the world for continuously. I vote that we collect the emissions of all the politicians. They simply emit too much, and I believe that we do carbon capture of Washington, D.C., and the UN, and Brussels. We shall have, perpetual energy, and then Greta Doomsburg can never talk to us again. I have solved all our problems. Vote for me for president. Let's see here. The former Secretary of State was speaking next to Becky Anderson, managing editor of CNN Abu Dhabi, and Faith Barrow, executive director of the International Energy Agency, when a Bronx cheer suddenly erupted mid sentence. Quote, there shouldn't be any more coal fired power plants permitted anywhere in the world. Okay, y'all, here's what pisses me off. It was definitely a shart. Look, as a person who does laundry for 8 people, I'm gonna tell you, he was turtling. It was a shart. What these people want is death to third world countries. The cheapest, easiest, most efficient right now that we know, and we are making breakthroughs every day, but right now, the cheapest, most efficient, you know, energy source is coal, is oil. You are wanting to mandate third world or new or whatever we're calling the global south or God knows what the hell the new term people of poorness, peoples peoples of no money. I don't know what the hell we're supposed to call these people. Okay, people in developing countries, you are wanting to tell them that they are supposed to use inconvenient, non reliable sources to keep their insulin cold, to keep their babies on incubators. The pause, as Donald Edison would say. You want them to suffer so that you feel better because you have a MacBook that was mined with, child labor from lithium mines, not to mention the whole, you know, Uyghur issue. I am so tired of these people. This windbag needs to be harnessed for his own wind energy. Quote, I find myself getting more and more militant because this windbag right here, because I do not understand how adults who are in a position of responsibility can avoid being responsible for taking away those things that are killing people on a daily basis. No, I'm not still alive. I'm dead by stupidity. Good morning, MLS. But apparently John Kerry ripped a big one while talking about wind energy. So, it was apropos. Before Kerry can complete that thought, he ripped a big one. I intend to fully spread the story that it was a shart. CNN's Anderson, sitting to Kerry's right within striking distance of the loud and deadly, uh, jerks her head aside. Look, it was full of corn. Oh my God, she smelt it and he dealt it. Look at that face. That face is like, oh, holy hell, what did you eat, dude? Get some, get some. She's like adrenochrome. Holy crap. And the reality is that the climate crisis and the health crisis are one and the same, Kerry continued unabated. He's like, smell my fart, woman. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Larry O'Connor of Town Hall Media said Kerry's alleged flatulent was an embarrassment to the US. No, he's an embarrassment to the US, but that's okay. The biggest problem is during this entire exchange representing, oh, this was O'Connor, sorry. The biggest problem is during this entire exchange representing us, the United States of America, he ripped out a big fart, O'Connor said. He let loose with flatulence on an international stage. Well, I mean, y'all, let's be honest. In the last few years, have we made a good showing of ourselves? The pundit said that the evidence was overwhelming and Kerry must answer for look, y'all, everyone farts. It's hilarious. He should you know what? If I farted on an international stage as your future president, I would both claim it and name it. I'd be like, "Look, I tooted in, Putin's face because you know what? I just had beans." I was like, "Look, it's borscht. Who doesn't have toots when it's borscht?" I'd be like, "Look, I tried the local cuisine. That's a lot of cabbage, y'all. Everyone farts. That's my platform." He should lose his job immediately. John Kerry farted. Oh my god. Take a chill pill, dude. Get your big girl panties on. It's not a big deal. He was just, explaining how emission works. Fry's over here not bothered. He's like, "I is farting all the times. I I swear, mommy, I fart all the times. I nearly kill mommies. Mine is silent and deadlies." In, kind of ridiculous news, Thrill Kill Murderer released back into Santa Clara County. So, if you live in Santa Clara County, this guy is being released. So let's look into it. One of two men who carried out a Satanist-inspired quote thrill clear kill murder in San Jose was freed from prison and released back into Santa Clara County. Former inmate Jay Williams, 29, was granted early release on November 20th, court records show. Williams was a 15-year-old high school student when he and his 16-year-old friend, Randy Thompson, decided they wanted to unalive someone. The boys befriended 15-year-old Michael Russell with the sole intention of unaliving him in 2009. Now, this speaks to a level of premeditation that really would, for me, I would think that he would get a life sentence. I mean, this isn't like premeditation, like, watching cases, we know premeditation can happen, the second before you do something. But this is premeditation to the nth degree. This is, Hollywood premeditation where you have, like, the murder, notes. You have the red board with all the doodads. The victim's family attorney, Scotty J. Story, told KRON4, quote, "Jay and Randy set out with the goal of unaliving someone just to find out what it felt like. They cultivated a friendship with Mikey, lulling him into a sense of security with them to achieve their goal. When San Jose Police Department homicide detectives were investigating the teen's grisly death, Williams told the police that his religion, Satanism, gave him the permission to unalive. The three boys went to Russell's house on November 10th, 2009. I mean, again, this is yeah, like Sarah Adams said, this is Lifetime movies, Meredith Baxter Burney, Judith Light levels of premeditation. The three boys went back to Russell's house November 10th, 2009. When the trio was alone in the backyard, Williams and Thompson attacked the victim with a knife. They reportedly took turns stabbing the Santa Teresa High School student. Stories said the terror Russell must have felt realizing his quote unquote friends were gonna unalive him must have been unimaginable. Again, this is and real Satanism. Look, Aleister Crowley was a joke. If you wanna learn about real Satanism or any sort of esoteric religions, I suggest you look up Styx Hexenhammer. He has a lot of occult videos. He looks like Jesus, I'm gonna be real honest with you, but if Jesus was a hippie and did a lot of cussing and drank a lot of coffee. So I like him a lot. He kind of does more serious news, and he doesn't read the article, but he does have a lot of esoteric, occult knowledge. And this is not what real Satanism is about, according to him, because he used to be a Satanist. Any hoozle, Six Hexenhammer is very, very good. I listen to him in the morning, and sometimes I pick out stories or he'll pick out stories that I've already picked to go over, like you know, garden the English couple that had a garden sculpture that was an unspent munition from the 1800s because, that's what you do. And she was just whacking it with a trowel. But So this is the gentleman. With Williams free from prison, the victim's surviving family members are also terrified, Story said. Quote, they are very disappointed in the legislative system that created the statute which led to his release. They are also terrified for themselves and society. There's no reason that Jay Williams should ever showed any contrition, or there's no indication that Jay Williams ever showed any contrition or remorse for taking Mikey's life or the brutal way he and Randy murdered him. Story told KRON4. For their trials, Thompson and Williams were charged and convicted as adults and sentenced to serve 26 years to life in prison. Senate Bill 1319, passed in 2018, prohibits anyone under the age of 16 from being charged as an adult. After the law passed, Williams' case was transferred to the juvenile court. So I didn't realize they could get grandfathered in. So apparently, California decided that if you do anything under the age of 18 or 16, you basically are a juvenile. Look, I have mixed feelings about this. I think it should be a case by case law. I have mixed feelings. I feel like these need to be a case by case basis. I think if you mandate something, it it really takes out the nuances of the law. So I feel like there definitely needs to be that gray area. But that's just me. I'm not president yet. And if I were president, I'd be a federalist and I'd tell California to do whatever it want, but I'd build a big shiny wall and make Escape from LA real again and find Snake Plissket. Because that man looked really great in some leather and with an eye patch. I'm just saying. Of course, now he's really, really old, so I need to find a Snake Plissket look-alike. Audition tapes, send them, please. Just kidding, you guys. Thompson, who was just 1 year older than Williams at the time of the quote unquote thrill kill, remains locked up in San Quentin State Prison. At a California correction or Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation spokesperson confirmed to KRON he was sentenced to life with a possibility of parole for first degree murder. He's in CDRC or CDCR custody, a spokesperson wrote. So because he just missed that cutoff, he got out, which, like I said, having these arbitrary rules don't help. I think it misses the nuance. Law needs to be gray. You need to be able to look at each individual case. This needs to be something that, this is particularly heinous, the way they lured a sacrificial lamb, the way they gained his trust. I mean, this is particularly heinous to me. But and oh my gosh, we haven't gotten any snow yet, Jude. I'm waiting for snow, but I'm also okay with us having no snow. Thompson's next parole hearing is scheduled for March 2024. He will be eligible for parole in May of 2028, according to state inmate records. William was set free hours after a discharge hearing was held in Santa Clara County Juvenile Court on November 20th. His mother, Christina Trullo, and a defense attorney, Luis Octavio Romero, appeared in the courtroom with him, court records state. The court set following probation conditions on the convicted murderer's release. Williams cannot change his place of residence without prior approval from his probation officer. He is forbidden from associating with Thompson. He is also barred from having any intentional contact with the victim's family members. He must participate in re-entry services. He may not leave his home between 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. He must attend school, vocational training, or maintain full-time employment. He may not use or possess or be under the influence of alcohol or drugs, and he is subject to search or seizure at any time by law enforcement. He's not allowed to own firearms until he's 30 years old on June 8th of 2024. But here's the clincher, you guys. If he violates any of these probation conditions, he could be ordered back to jail for no longer than 6 months. I mean, like I said, the arbitrariness of the rules, politicians think they're doing something right and something moral, but it ends up getting used in ridiculousness. In other news, apparently now the lawsuit is making Brian Laundrie's parents talk, allegedly. In a quote, frantic phone call, Brian Landry told parents that Gabby Petito was quote unquote gone 13 days before she was reported missing. Um, so the family of Gabby Petito, who was killed in August 2021 by her fiance, Brian, I don't know why I call him Brandon. Brian Laundrie said their daughter's killer's father admitted during a deposition that he received a quote unquote frantic phone call from his son, who told his parents that Petito was gone 13 days before any law enforcement agency was notified that she was even missing. Now, why Brian's family? Look, two families have lost their children. Even if he was an evil, heinous person and committed an evil, heinous act, he was still their child. She still brought him into this world. She still has all the memories of him as a child. She still lost him. But why contribute to another family's suffering? I don't get why it got to this point. Why not just say, "Look, I am so sorry that you are suffering too. Let me give you all the information." Sir Frybert, are we doing what is called scounging? Are we trying to get into bags that we are not opposed to? He's like, "Not that you're not supposed to be paying attention to me." I'm still looking at that for the love of all that is Cheetos, stop. Messy room. I'm still looking at that camera that moves with him. I'm saving all of my money to get that. Nanya, I get your point. I just wish that they had been willing to tell the truth without all of this shenanigans. I wish that they had just come to the parents and said, "Look, this is what happened." I wish they would have encouraged their son to go to the police and tell them what happened. I mean, goodness gracious. I've never been tested. I have never been put in this situation. I hope if I ever were, I would make better choices. I mean, it's easy for me to sit here, in the comfort of my comfy chair with my little, cushion lab seat. Well, yeah. I know. I don't condone the loss. I don't know. Look, I wish I had easy answers to tough questions. That would make me a genius, but I don't. Like, y'all, if I was truly psychic, I could solve all the world's problem and, make John Kerry not fart in public. It'd be really awesome. I don't know why my hair is annoying the ever living snot out of me today, but it is. So, this part I really don't understand. Hello, spirit matter. Okay, let's see here. Do. The revelation comes in an amended complaint filed last week in an ongoing civil case between Gabby Petito's parents, Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt, against Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie. Quote, on August 29th, 2021, Brian Landry advised his parents, Christopher and Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie, in a frantic phone call that Gabby was, quote, gone and he needed a lawyer, the complaint said. On August 29th, 2021, Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie spoke with Stephen Bertolino, advising him that Gabby Petito was gone, that Brian Landry needed a lawyer, and sent him a retainer on September 2nd, 2021. Gabby Petito was not reported missing until September 11th, 2021. Details of that phone call came to light during a deposition. Quote, the depositions of the parties have now been taken, and the plaintiffs wish to amend their complaint based on what they learned through the discovery to conform with the pleadings to the evidence raised, according to the October 27th filing by the lawyers for Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt. Gabby Petito's parents sued Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie in March 2022, alleging that Brian Laundrie, 23, told his parents that he unalived his girlfriend when they were on a trip in Wyoming, and the Laundries not only didn't share this information with Petito and Schmidt, they tried to make arrangements for their son to leave the country. I mean, what is your duty to inform? I guess, Veilhammer, you win the laundry or you win the internet today for your funny joke that was, ill-timed, but, you know, well-placed pun. It will be packaged and sent to you in 6 to 8 weeks. Sorry for all the memes. It's it is that thing. What is that's it maybe MLS, you and I need to have a stream about what is your duty to inform. If your child tells you something that they've done, what is your duty? I would feel like it would eat me up alive. I'm telling you, it would eat me alive when the parents were calling frantically. I couldn't live with it. I mean, that would be me. I just couldn't live with it. But again, it's easy for me. It's yeah, when do you become an accessory? Maybe that's a good stream to have with an actual legal law lawyer. MLS, I'm looking at you. When do you become an accessory? When does your, silence or motherly duty to your child become accessory after the fact when you're not, you know, telling someone, "Hey," or when you're getting a lawyer or when you're not, disclosing facts? When is, you know, when is when do those lines get crossed? Maybe that's a good stream to have with an actual legal law lawyer, because 'cause I'm making stuff up in my head. He knows Latin. So, Gabby Petito was 22 years old when she was unalived. So, again, these are new revelations. I think this is a good stream to maybe let me write it down in my handy dandy notebook, which I keep next to me for stream ideas, because that is a good idea. Does anyone else struggle with does and dose? I always write dose first, and then I have to go back and redo it, and I can't multitask. All right, we've got that. So that is definitely something that is a good question to ask a real legal lawyer. So maybe look forward to seeing that coming up. All right. A Pennsylvania doctor, and these are crazy ex-girlfriend highs. Also, those are some eyebrows. Look, y'all, I don't get it. We went from the early 90s and aughts to where you had the 1930s, like you overplucked your eyebrows to the point where, we all look, I didn't do it because I thought it looked really ugly, but, the 30s, 1930s really penciled in eyebrows, pencil thin, and then we went, now we are going full Brooke Shields, like 1984 hairy eyebrows. If we go full unibrow, I am quitting society. I just am. I'm just telling you what. I've made that I okay. So, a Pennsylvania doctor charged with attempted murder and arson at an elderly woman's home. Now, she's got crazy ex-girlfriend eyes, and I think, Sal, you might be able to fix her, but don't ever dump her. A Pennsylvania doctor is facing attempted murder charges after investigators said she started a fire on the front porch of a home belonging to the grandmother of a woman who is currently dating her ex-boyfriend. That goes to show you can go all the way through medical school and still be a psycho. She just couldn't find the bunny hatch, apparently. For the love of all that is flaming hot Cheetos, ma'am. And why would you go after Granny? It's the dude that's screwing you over. Look, I will never for the life of me understand why women go after the other chick or the other chick's grandma. It is the dude that is screwing you over. Why go after the other lady bits when it is the dangly bits that are screwing you over? I mean, not that you should go after anyone. Well, so Dave, the stream I wanted to have maybe was so when does, not informing and your knowledge become accessory after the fact, though? So if you have all of this info, say your son is telling you certain things or he wants you to hide stuff, I mean, at what point does that cross over? We could have an interesting psychological, philosophical stream, I feel like. But right now I'm on why don't women ever, ever just go after the daggone dangly bits. It's always they go after the other woman, and I have never understood that. I'm like, the dude that is cheating on you is right here. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Also, hide your bunnies. Don't have bunnies. So I will tell you guys a funny story that's totally off topic, but I have stayed mainly on topic. So now let me do do do. So last night, Mr. Mo and I were hanging out after I did the stream, and I was listening to a podcast about the Pike County unalivings. And he's like, all day long you listen and you talk about, crimes and stuff. Should I be worried? And I was like, no, honey. I mean, the only thing that you would ever worry about is if I had you cremated. And he's like, "You women scare me. All day long you listen to true crime." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. We are a scary bunch. Hell, I'm scared of me half the time, and look, I live with me." Anyhoozle, let's get back to Dr. Amy Cohen, 35, who is being held at the Montgomery County Correctional Facility on a $5 million cash bail after being charged with first-degree attempted murder, arson, assault, terroristic threats, and other crimes. Ma'am, you went to, like, 18 bajillion years of school and you got Twitter pated about a dude. Imma need you to chill the hell out. The charges stem from an investigation into a November 24th incident in Lower Merion, where police said a threatening flyer that included anti-Semitic language was left at a home of an elderly woman. Now you're gonna bring anti-Semitism into it, ma'am? What is wrong with you? Again, it's called okay, there is Bumble, I think. There is well, I think Grindr's not for you, ma'am, but there is, oh gosh, what's the other it's not Twitch, it's look, it's they've got Hinge, they've got, eHarmony, plenty of fish in the sea, JDate. I mean, There Go to Alaska, there are men there. You are a doctor, ma'am. It's not like you are Zoidberg. I mean, I am sure you clean up pretty. Is he the only dangly bit that is around you? I mean, for the love of all that is Cheetos. The flyer, according to the police, included specific threats toward the woman's granddaughters who did not live at the house. Days later, officers were called back to the home by a family member who police say installed exterior cameras following the incident involving the threatening flyer. Investigators say a woman believed to be Cohen was captured on a camera around 1 a.m., intentionally starting a fire near the front door of the home while the victim slept. The woman attempted to spread the flames by using a flammable liquid, according to the police, but the fire ultimately burned out without extending beyond the porch. Ma'am, you are also terrible at this. First, authorities say they connected Cohen to the elderly victim's granddaughter and later found evidence that linked Cohen to the arson and the threatening flyer. Yeah, no shit, because you mentioned the granddaughters in it. You should have just said, I is so mad she is dating my ex. Cohen, a Narberth resident, was taken into custody Friday and charged with a number of crimes, including reckless endangerment, stalking, ethnic intimidation, and criminal mischief. I mean, ma'am, you done got yourself charged with a hate crime and those eyebrows. I mean, good luck in prison. And in other news, apparently Mario Batali, I had to show Mr. Mo this because Mr. Mo and I will watch Iron Chef. Look, Mr. Mo and I cannot watch a lot of TV together because I don't like plot holes and logic holes. So I will rip apart things and he just wants to turn his mind off and watch a TV show. And I'm like, why are they doing this? This is so dumb. Why can't they just, this is terrible writing. But Mario Batali has apparently lost a shit ton of weight after being charged of being a perv. Okay. But he's still wearing orange Crocs with socks. So what are you going to do? Apparently, he is leaving New York because of a bunch of a-holes. But considering he's allegedly an a-hole himself who wears orange Crocs with socks. Oh, yeah, no, I'm always adding color commentary. I am the Mystery Science Theater of watching TV, which is why we do Iron Chef. Or the Great British Baking Show. We're waiting for the entire season to come out of this season because they fired the very pale white guy. Oh, no, I love watching them, I just like to giggle at them. Look, we have to do a Mystery Science Theater. No, MLS made a Dave made a background for it. I just need to figure out how to put make an overlay of it. I need to work on that, but I will definitely do we're gonna do some cop videos, so I think I'll do an overlay of that, and, we'll do mystery science cop videos. I'm writing it down. Well, yeah, I mean, or they split up. Why would you ever split up? Why don't you ever pack? Why is no one ever packing? Yeah, that's I need to work on an overlay. I've only made one. I need to work on my tech skills. It's a thing. But, Mario Vitali has parted ways with the Big Apple for good, ranting, "There's enough a-holes and I'm done with that town." The chef, who was once a Manhattan fixture, launched a tirade during his first public return to cooking on screen Friday in a live stream of his cooking show, Molto a Casa, from his home in tiny Northport, Michigan. Wow, way to poo on Michigan. MLS, as a proud Michigander, I think you should sue the New York Post. He fled there after a string of accusations of sexual harassment and sexual assault. Look, he had, been accused of a lot of things, okay? Now, Vitali is 63, he's denied everything, and, uh, he quit public everything. So Mario is now a Michigander, but he held a 500 or no, a $50 a head live cooking class on Zoom on Friday, followed by a Q&A, and asked by the Post in a Q&A if he would ever do live cooking demos back at Italy in New York City. Batali responded, "Me and New York City have parted ways. I'm done." Now, why he decided to take feet pictures, it was a great town, it worked for me for the longest time, but now I live in Northern Michigan, a tiny little town of 600 people with a community of magnificent, like-minded creatives, all of whom think everyone in our community is a great assistant and helper to a full movement of the community. This sounds like a commune. But you know what? He's looking fit and healthier. Batali first rose to fame on Food Network. So when I used to work with adults with developmental disabilities, we would watch Food Network all the time. I still contend that that is the reason I gained so much weight. You know what? I would take cooking lessons from him, but over Zoom. Why did you have to put that thought in my head? Ew. So he denied any sort of, and y'all, okay, men. Look, y'all, if you was going all the way bald, if you only have 1 or 2 brave survivors up here, you know, that have held on, do not grow them to be 16 inches to make a sad little skullet ponytail. You are not fooling anyone. Stop. Just stop. Sir, sir. Okay, you have also won the internet. You will be sharing it with whoever won it before. I am sorry for all the memes and weird, people getting stuck in washing machine videos. It is what it is. It's the internet. You have to watch it at your own, leisure and peril. Yeah. I feel bad for men that are accused because now it is, believe all whammons and such. But still, sir, I mean, he does have a matching scrunchie, but still, if if these are the 2 brave survivors, they have done a lion's share through most of your life, let them die with dignity and march onto your back like God intended or out of your ears, again, give it up, sir. It is not okay. See, I mean, here to here, they have just given up, sir. Um, I have a lot to say here, but I'm not. Nope. Why does he look like Michael Moore? More and more. Any hoozle, he's not going back to New York. So, it's not politically correct, and I will probably get dinged, but I'm not monetized, like, with ads yet, but I call, um, Mr. Mose, I call it an ear and nose fro, so I tell him, like, "Hey, you need to take care of that." I was like, "Look, if I can see it." Yeah, purple is such a he likes bright colors. Orange and purple together with a, I don't know, orange Kool-Aid from Jonestown is just an interesting idea, but there you go. There is the news, and on a personal note, it is we are gonna put up our Christmas tree. We have figured out a way that maybe possibly the cats won't destroy it this year. We will get I will try to do a members only video that will go public the next day, but we will see if we have outsmarted the cats. It's very likely that we haven't, and you will get a cat Christmas tree update very soon, but we might have outsmarted the cats. I do not know, but it is a possibility. I will. So what we did is we have, I don't know how many of you people have like these auction places where people buy big Amazon lots, or I don't know where the hell they get, probably from the back of a truck, to be very honest with you, but I'm not going to say anything. So you bid on certain things. I found this little cute bar set, and of course I bought it for like a buck, and I didn't know where to put it because Mr. Mo's like, "Why do you bid on stuff that you have no idea where we're gonna put it?" And I was like, "Because it was a dollar, sir. Like, you know me. It's a dollar." And we found a very cute 3-foot tree, and we've got a metal, collar, so the cats can't jump up, and if they try to jump up, they can't get purchase. So we fill it with, lights and the little garland fluffy stuff, so it looks nice, and then we can put the Christmas gifts Christmas Eve. We don't put them out beforehand because we have sneaky little feral children. I know, a bargain's a bargain. Who says I won't need a 50-cent backhoe one day? I know, I resolved to put my stuff up. Usually I am I have bought clearance stuff, I have tubs full of everything, I have wrapped stuff. This year, I feel like I am chasing my tail backwards, but, like I said yesterday, just surrender to the craziness, do what you gotta do. It it's it is what it is. I'm gonna let you guys go. I am going to take Mr. What is y'all, my dog is broken. Mr. Mo is like, "Why does he always continue to hang out with his wang out?" And I was like, "You are just jealous that I mean, this is how he sleeps. Y'all, I can't. What is my dog is defective. What is this? What is Oh my gosh, you guys, this is how he sleeps. I have never seen a dog sleep like that. He's like, "You talking about me? Okay, fine. I sleep normal now." He's like, "Don't shame me." He's like, "I just like to air out my bits that I won't have, in a little bit." Poor guy. Have a wonderful day. Say something nice to yourself and something nice to someone else. Random acts of kindness go a long way. Some days that might be the only nice thing that someone hears. And it's an easy way for us introverts to, interact and then walk away slowly, which, I'm always okay with. So have a wonderful day. I'll see you in a little bit. Bye, guys.